Good afternoon, YouTube. You'll notice that it is usually a good morning, but today it is the afternoon because today, I don't know why I looked at my watch as if my watch is going to tell me what day of the week it is. It is actually a Sunday. We are a day early to the usual vlog shooting schedule. And the reason for which being, I haven't showed you the Sunday session yet, which is upper A in the exercise workout rotation. So I figured it was about time that we showed a session that's a little bit different. So I will play this session for you over me talking right now. Successful day today. So my little brother, who I am sort of giving a little bit of help with when it comes to coaching, just on the gym side of things, he's recently got into running. So he's been doing a lot of running. He's been doing running events, and he actually ran a 10K race today. I think his end time was like 46 or 47 minutes, which is a little bit slower than what he wanted, but by his own admission, he went out on the piss Friday. He's got a knee injury, so there's extra factors involved. But yeah, that's why I was up early this morning, because I went to go and watch him on the run, editing Jake, put the photo in somewhere. It was class, it was good to see, and it was inspiring. So after seeing him run on this race, I went into my session today and I thought, you know what, fuck you. We're going for a 1 rep max on the bench press. So, because something that I'm doing alongside obviously this bulk is I'm actually, one of the goals, right, and I think this is beneficial, is obviously a bulk is slow. It's such a slow process, right? And you're changing so gradually week to week that it can become, if your only motivation is tied to how you're looking and improving your physique, it can become a little bit stale, right? So what I always do on bulks is I include movements that I enjoy, and I set strength goals for those movements. Now, I think my all-time best bench press was about what it was today, right? We hit 122.5 kilo for 1 rep, and obviously did some back offsets as well. And I think if that isn't the strongest I've been, that is very close to the strongest that I've ever been. At a body weight of 78.5 kilo or 173 pounds. You'll see tomorrow what I weigh in at anyway, because obviously this vlog will continue tomorrow. So we're chasing a free plate bench or a 140 kilogram, 315 pound bench in this bulk, and seeing that strength progression towards that is a good thing that's going to keep me motivated, because again, if your only motivation is seeing physical changes or chasing the physical result, it's going to be slow. It's going to be very hard to quantify and sort of rate that. But strength goals, you're going to see progress, maybe not every single week as you get deeper into a bulk, but over time you are going to see those numbers go up, and that can be your source of motivation from progress, right? So that's a really key thing as well. But we smashed the 10K, it was amazing, good to see. The whole family was there, so we got to see my auntie and my nan, who I don't see anywhere nearly enough, so that was class as well. It's spinning. What's this? What is it?
Rabbit.
Is it rabbit?
Yeah.
Rabbit spins. What car is it? What is this?
Back.
It's a truck.
It's back.
You want to put it back?
No.
No. Is it a fire engine?
Yeah.
Fire engine. So yeah, all round wholesome morning. Potential PB hit, or at least very close to a PB, which means we will be sailing past that. Only 17.5 kg to add to the bench press. How hard can that be? But yeah, training is mint at the minute. I'm looking forward to every session. Every session is doing some form of progression. Everything is moving as per schedule. So that is Sunday box stuff for training. We're going to get back, shoot some content. I've got a food prep today, so I might show you a little time lapse of that. Actually, I need to remember to do that. Little time lapse for cooking. Only prepping for 5/6 days a week, because I've actually got a Wales trip this next weekend coming for one of my mates at work, so that'll be interesting to see what effect that has on training. But the week before it, treat it exactly as normal. Don't make any changes, don't try and compensate. We're going to enjoy next weekend, but enjoy it by being disciplined. And yeah, so I'm going to scram this meal, post-workout meal, and then we're going to make a move. But yeah. So it is now the next day, and that little clip that you've just seen is me attaching a pannier? What is it called? I haven't got a fucking clue, to be honest. Attaching a rack to the back of my bike. It's just so that we can basically carry meal prep around with me, because I want to basically give myself as little excuses to eat off plan as possible. Again, coming back to this thing that there's been quite a few times in the last couple of weeks that I have basically just gone to get out food, right? Or I've gone down the easy route of just kind of having something off plan and being like, well, it's fine, like it's fine. And once or twice a week, this would be fine. But this has been happening more than once or twice a week. So, little time lapse that you're going to see on screen of putting that together, and listening to a audiobook. The obstacle is The Way by Ryan Holiday. This is something that I think I did borrow it and read it once before, but I'm reading it again. It's such a great, I mean, Ryan Holiday is great anyway, right? As most of you will probably know, who maybe have been following for a little bit longer, I fucking love Stoicism. It is the thing that basically helped me to partially with like CBT as well, eradicate anxiety. It basically just helped me just function more at peace in the world and with less like sort of stress, and with like kind of worry about things a lot less. It's just a way of living that has allowed me to get things done and struggle less. So I'm actually, you know, I'm a big fan of Stoicism. Ryan Holiday obviously is one of the biggest educators in there. But this book in particular, obviously the basic premise is that sometimes some of the very things that we think are right, obstacles, right, not only are they an inherent part of life, that, you know, we're busy, we are stressed, we are tired, we have to go to work, we have to look after the kids, we have to, the car breaks down, we have to fix the car, we have this disadvantage and we have this disadvantage, and this is the reason why I can't achieve this right now, and this, all these excuses and all these challenges that come up, oftentimes what we don't realise is they are not, what's that saying that Chris Will uses? They are a feature, not a bug. Right? This is life, and actually in going through them, going through the obstacle, we actually develop and understand and learn the things that we need to kind of be a little bit better, right? And this is something that I find very difficult to implement sometimes, because especially with me, like inconveniences, I get, obviously with me, like I don't necessarily get sad, but I do get irritable with them, right? Especially if it's like stuff that is outside of my control, stuff that I fuck up. Like I'm very quick to forgive myself, right? It's probably like a little bit egocentric, but like if it's like something that's out of my control, or it's sort of like somebody else's fault, or not so much somebody else's fault, because I'm quite forgiving in that regard, but like for example technology, right? If there's something wrong with the camera and I can't immediately figure out what it is, or if something's wrong with my laptop, or if the Wi-Fi goes down, like technical bugs, right? People that know me, they annoy the fuck out of me, right? So not so much with other people and not so much with myself, because I'm forgiving in that sense, but like inanimate objects or things that aren't human, fucking like, oh, even thinking about it I'm getting like a little bit irate. But yeah, so interesting read. What I've got rest on the agenda today, I'm gonna go shower, we have work a little bit later. I'm going to finish the editing for the week. It's a bit of just a wrap-up week this week, because obviously we've got a Wales trip this weekend, so I just want to make sure I'm ahead for the weekend. I'm actually potentially going to take a couple of days off of training this week, because I've just noticed that the joints are just really mash up, which hasn't been the case for a long time. But I think we've just been jumping the gun with strength progression, so I'm going to see what I do training for the rest of the week. I'm considering taking the second half of the week off, dropping what would have been upper B, lower B, and then changing the rotation, starting with those again earlier next week. Because I've just been feeling like a little bit battered. I think I've just trained a little bit too aggressively, I want to say, not in the sense of overtraining, because I don't think I'm necessarily overtrained, but I could see that the way that I'm currently training, if I did this for another 3-4 weeks, I would be in a position where I'd have to take maybe a little bit more time off. So I'm just preempting that, not taking a full deload, but dropping half a week of training, so that hopefully I can actually finish the full 8 to 12 week period without having to stop because of injuries. So we're trying to be smart, trying to train hard and smart right now. So So we've got a few for this day so far, this week so far. Pretty dead on, if even a little bit higher on some days. I know we said, I probably think it was like last week, was it? Or there was one week it went a little bit lower. Yeah, so we're going to balance that here, which is good. Average, pretty much bang on the money. Only 100 calories below average. Average so far this week, we can't call it yet because we have a half day being thus far. Okay. Weight average, slowly ticking up. 0.7 this week. Yeah, it's moving up quite nice to be fair, bro. So yeah, man, can't really complain with any of that. Weight is moving up at a nice rate. Let's see what you're actually saying in the chicken arenas itself. So busy bullshit of your life. You got a weekend off this weekend, bro, right? So let's obviously try and use this as much as we can to rest and relax, right? I mean, obviously I know there's going to be drinking involved. I know we're going to have sore heads right after the weekend, depending on how hard we hit it. However, at least mentally, there should be some degree of like switch off, and you should be like mentally recharged to some extent from it, just taking away from it for a bit. And I hear this, bro, like I know obviously we're working quite some hefty shifts recently. Let's see what sessions we got in last week. So we've got 2 out of the 4 sessions. This is the thing really, bro, we do want to see more sessions coming in per week. Like 2 out of the 4 is not quite where it needs to be. Now, obviously, what hours you work at the moment, let's not just have this sort of position where I just say to you, right, you need to do better, right? Only getting 2 out of the 4 sessions in the last kind of couple weeks. What do you think is the reason for that, right? Is it a motivation issue? Is there, you know, the times when you could have gone to the gym but you just can't be arsed to go? Is it that you obviously just are feeling like a little bit busy, overwhelmed, you don't know where to place it, are you procrastinating it? Like, what would you say is the main thing that's stopping you getting 4 sessions? Ooh, so this is the last little clip that I will shoot for the vlog this week. It is actually Wednesday now, so it is a day or a couple of days ahead of where we were. Yeah, been a really slow couple of days. The main thing being, I've basically completely cut out caffeine for the last couple of days, and something else seemingly unrelated is today I've kind of dragged my ass through cooking and doing the last little bit of editing and a pro update for a client. I did all of that with no music, nothing on in the background, right? It's a funny little thing that once I'd started bulking again, and this is going to seem a little bit like woo-woo and a little bit out there, but I do think it goes a little bit deeper. I do think that it is potentially applicable for many of us, especially today. Like, I know it's a big problem for me, and that is like the degree by which we're constantly stimulated. That's from food, that's from the phone, that's from the TV, that's from music, that's from caffeine, that's from nicotine, that's from alcohol, whatever it is that you use to get a buzz, to have a good time, right? And I think in this day and age, that stuff is almost far too readily available. And this is like an idea of like something like this was a few years back on, like dopamine detox was like such a big idea. I don't really hear it spoken about that often anymore these days, but every time I'm kind of like reintroduced to it, I all of a sudden it's like a penny drops, and it's like, well, my motivation for doing this, and my motivation for doing that, and this needs to be like constantly stimulated. That makes the hard stuff, be that training, deep work, if you've got to get deep work done, it makes it so much harder to do because your brain is so used to the opposite, which is like easy dopamine hits, right? If you're fucking scrolling all the time. And it's funny, I was having a conversation with a client, and it's funny how these things sort of tend to coincide sometimes, and they happen at the same time. And this client was saying like the same thing. They were just struggling with like sort of motivation overall. Like they were really struggling with like preparing their meals and stuff. And they are a vapor, right, first and foremost. So they're just vaping all day. They're in a dieting phase right now, so they're more inclined to that was a Susham movement. Anyway, steady now. So they're more inclined to obviously utilize this because it's going to blunt and like reduce the hunger a little bit, right? Which can be an aid, right? There's nothing wrong per se with it. But I think like something we should all be doing like these days, at least to some extent, I think most of us, maybe not all of us, because some of us probably do lead simple lives, is like we do wonder why we have this high energy state where we're always like super anxious and can't be bothered to get ourselves to go and do this important thing, or we're really struggling to muster up the energy to do this chore or do this important task. And doing this isn't going to go away, right, if you were to implement this and simplify things, but it is going to make it easier. And I think like for myself, it's something that, as somebody who's been addicted to nicotine, as somebody who has literally used caffeine every single day without fail for probably like most people, it's got to be for years. Like I really can't remember the last time that I wouldn't have had something caffeinated every single day. And so like I'm really dependent on it. So that's something that I want to do over the next kind of couple of weeks, is try and de-stimulate my brain, right? Dopamine detox, if you will, and be really careful with what I put back into that. Because I want to be back in a position where my work does feel rewarding, and not that it doesn't, but there are some aspects of the work, right? Editing is just a slog right now. Writing copy, like coming up with the captions for emails, coming up with the captions for posts, like all of it is so, I have to really force myself to do it. I want to see if I can get back to a point where actually the thing itself is almost a reward, right? Not needing to be amped up on caffeine to do it, not needing to be, obviously back in the day it was like using nicotine, right, which is something that I quit, I think it was like last year. And it's so difficult though, because you want to make sure that you don't just replace it with another bad habit. This is where I've been struggling like the last kind of couple of weeks. This is why the weight has climbed a little bit higher than I would have wanted it to, is just like the craving of food a little bit more, because I've kind of opened the Pandora's box now to kind of allowing myself a little bit of that. Same with alcohol. Like I'm one of these people, like I don't think I'm an alcoholic per se, or definitely never been an alcoholic in the conventional sense, but I'm one of these people that like if I start drinking, I'll find it very hard to stop, and I'll have 2, 3, that turns into 4, might have 5 if I'm out and about, right? It's going to be even more than that. And and it's the actions that come after that ultimately. Like I'll just order a takeout because fuck it, the idea of growing slowly, or the idea of money, right, this saving money and trying to be on top of things, just because it's completely out the window, and I'm like, yeah, fine, let's take away these, right? But yeah, it's something I've been reading into more. I was also looking into, I'm going to absolutely butcher the pronunciation, right? I've been listening to stuff on Miyamoto Musashi, probably completely fucked up his name, I do apologise. It's like the Book of the Five Rings, and it was like this guy that apparently he lived his entire life, and he was a samurai, and he'd had like so many hundreds and hundreds of duels, might be wrong on the numbers there, and obviously he lived to a ripe old age, so he never lost a duel, right? And it was all about his like way of life and stuff, and this was part of it. It's like presence, right? It's like Zen and Buddhism and trying to be present in the moment, right? Because I think being present more and actually giving your full attention to your training, to your work, to points in life is not only the way that you're going to enjoy them a lot more, but the result's going to be better. Because I find that for myself that I've been running so long on just being stimmed out and just chasing these things, right? I want to try and slow down. Not in terms of the actual output that I'm doing, I want that to be equivalent, if not more. But I want to do so in a way that I don't have to be stemmed up my head to do it, right? Constantly distracted like a fucking cat chasing a laser pointer, yeah? We want to get away from that, if possible. So, that is this week's vlog. Thanks for watching. Once again, if you're not already, please, we're trying to grow this YouTube channel. That's something I really want to do. If you're not already subscribed and you did enjoy this video and you want to follow this journey and listen to more of me yap, probably not so much of a selling point, but please do go ahead and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. And we keep rolling.